stop trying. Oops. Stop trying. We've been sold this idea that hard work is the only way to success, right? We hear it all the time. Just keep grinding. You got to work hard and eventually you'll break through. But what if I told you that's not entirely true? Happy Monday. This is Ace Anderson Live. Let's get it. Yo, 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 what up, family? Good morning and welcome to all you beautiful, brilliant, abundantly blessed beings. Welcome back to yet another present moment. This is the Ace Anderson Show, where we connect every Monday morning to provide you with weekly inspirational and entrepreneurial tips and tricks to help you ace your life. So congratulate yourself for making it to yet another beautiful dawn with me, your dedicated guide on this journey of self-discovery and growth. If you don't know by now, I am an actor, a rapper, a filmmaker, a producer, a photographer. I do a lot of things. That's why they call me the ace of all trades, the modern Renaissance man, Ace Anderson, and I am so happy to be here with you all for another blessed week. Now, as we embrace this first light together, I want to extend a special shout out to all you early risers joining in live. Your dedication to starting the week with intention and positivity is what makes the A-Team extraordinary. So grab your favorite morning brew. You know, I like to drink alkaline water, and let us explore, illuminate, and inspire ourselves to be better with mindful conversation. Now, today I'd like to discuss how efforting can get in the way of manifesting your dreams, and why following your excitement without insisting on a specific outcome is a more effective path. You know, there have been times when I was so focused on something happening, like trying to make it happen, and I didn't even realize I was forcing it. And I was efforting, right? Putting in so much effort that I was actually pushing away the very thing that I desired to create, my dreams. So this made me question, you know, the common belief that constant effort is the key to success. What if excessive trying is actually hindering us? So today, as we embark on this week's adventure, let's remember to align our hearts with the fruit of the Spirit, which are love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Let us trust these divine nine to guide us on the path to living a life that resonates deeply with our most authentic desires. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So, have you ever felt like no matter how much you hustle, things just don't seem to click? Like, cause I've been there, definitely. Like, I used to think like the harder that I push, the faster I get results. But man, it was like the universe was pushing back even harder. You know, I was putting in all this effort, but instead of progress, you know, I'm actually feeling stuck. And what I realized is that this efforting, right, that constant grind and forcing things to happen was actually creating resistance. You know, I wasn't going with the flow. I was fighting for it, right? And you don't need to fight for the flow. You just flow, right? Water just flows. And that's when things started to really shift, when I started to realize what was happening, what I was doing. And, you know, actually, you know, I wanted to play this video for you guys that really, really resonated with me and just made me understand like what the flow is about. Because we often talk about going with the flow, but you know, what really is the flow anyway, you know? And how do you know that you're with the flow, and like what reminds us of the flow? So I'm gonna play this video for y'all real quick, And I want to know your thoughts. Answer in the comments below what your thoughts are on this little video.
Is what if water is God?
Then that would mean God is both in us and all around us. That God is both above and below us. Why a woman's water breaks when we're born, and why some religions observe the ritual of baptism. But if water was God, then that would mean that God has no gender, that God takes the shape of whatever container God appears in, which would explain why we have so many different belief systems. Which begs the question, what is the spiritual significance of poisoning the water in Flint, Michigan? Or the oil burning in the Gulf of Mexico? Or the large islands of garbage floating in the Pacific Ocean? If God was water, would that not mean that every natural place is holy? That every thunderstorm was a church without walls? That when the rain falls, it's an act of God's death giving life, and when it evaporates again, it's the day of resurrection? And life itself was just a test of learning how to be and flow like water, how to give life to other people, and how to refresh their spirits and quench their thirst with your presence.
What?
Yo, like, does that not just like resonate so deeply with y'all? Like, that is incredible to me. Like, to the idea that God is actually water, and water and God can be named as synonymous. It's just incredible to think like it's so true. You know, God is in everything. He is with us. He's through us. He makes us up, right? He is the thing that he's the resource that we need to survive. You know, we can survive without food, but we can't survive without water for very long. So, you know, it's just a beautiful metaphor. And also thinking about how the universe is created and how things move throughout the universe is like water, right? It goes with the flow. Water just flows wherever it needs to. It doesn't have any need to be anywhere that it doesn't force itself anywhere, right? But it can also be this incredibly powerful thing, but it can also be so calm. But water itself just takes the form of whatever is around it, which is a beautiful metaphor to think that God is that same way, right? Water loves us. Water can provide life, right? Water can kill. Water can destroy. And it just all depends on how it's used and what energy is put towards it. But water itself is neutral in the same way that God is neutral and powerful. And so today we're flipping the script. We're breaking down why trying hard, why not going with the flow can really backfire, and the secret to unlocking everything that you've been working for. So I want to talk about the paradox of effort, right? The paradox of effort, right? Society tells us that working hard is everything, right? If you're not grinding, you're not achieving. You gotta hustle, man, you know? But the problem is when you're consistently in effort mode, you're not allowing things to unfold naturally, right? It's like paddling upstream instead of letting the current carry you. And if life is like water, the goal is to flow like water, then don't you want to just hang out in your boat and just let the water take you wherever your destination is? And the only reason why you're trying to go somewhere else is because you don't trust where the water is taking you. You don't trust where the flow is taking you. You don't trust that once you ask, it is given, that when you ask, you receive every time without a doubt. And the only thing that you need to do is focus on joy, focus on aligning your spirit with the fruit of the spirit. And that's why I'm so big on reminding you all of the fruit of the spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control, right? These are the elements of life that carry more life and bring more substance to our life and bring eternity. So here's where it gets wild. The more you try, right, the more you create resistance. So think about that paddling upstream. Oh my God, is there like something in my, it's like a feather in my eye or something. The more you try, the more you create resistance. You're paddling upstream, right? Like you're creating the resistance. You're not just letting the flow take you, the current of life, the current of your path, the current of God take you where it's supposed to take you. So, there's a crucial difference between inspired action and forced action, right? And I was getting this incorrect for so long, and I still sometimes, fall short of understanding this truly. So you have inspired action, which flows naturally, right? It feels exciting. It energizes you. That's inspired action. When you have a song idea, or you have, an idea for a movie or an invention or something, or you have a thought to call a friend, right? That just popped into your mind, right? These are thoughts that come to you, right? It's not forced by logic, right? So forced action, it feels like a struggle, right? It drains your energy. It creates frustration. And it often is led by fear of lack or failure, right? Now you might be asking like, Ace, well, what about, going to the gym, right? Like, is that not forcing myself to get the body that I want? Is that not efforting? Is that not trying, right? Well, in actuality, no, it's not forced action. It is inspired action, because oftentimes you're inspired to go to the gym, right? But when you go to the gym, you typically afterwards, after you're done at the gym, you don't feel drained. You don't feel like, oh my God, I can't believe I came here. Why did I even do this? Typically, when you end up working out, for those of you who ever work out, when you end up working out, you don't feel bad about working out afterwards. You typically are like, dang, I accomplished something. I felt good. You feel your future self, which is calling you to the future that you desire, the body that you desire, right? The health, the energy that you desire of your future is calling you towards going to the gym, is calling you to do one more push-up. Come on, trot, like get that thing. Go do your best, right? Make your best effort to go for it. And oftentimes the forced action is actually the laziness, the thing that says, no, don't do it. No, don't worry about it. Don't do that. No, I don't have to do that. I don't want to do that, because that's out of the fear that you're not going to be able to, the fear of failure. And so that's where the forced action is. And it's kind of a misnomer, because you're actually like, it's not actually laziness or procrastination. Procrastination feels like you're not doing anything, but it's almost like digging your feet into the ground of a rushing river, right? So you're not moving, but everything is like forcing, all this water is rushing past you and forcing itself on you. And so you're feeling the effort, right? You're feeling the negative results of you standing still when everything is moving around you. Instead of just going with the flow, you're like afraid of where it's going to take you. So you just try to root yourself into the ground, and then you end up feeling the damage anyway, and it becomes worse, right? So when you're forcing, you're coming from a place of fear that if you stop, you'll lose everything, right? That's a scarcity mindset. So think about it like this. When you're always chasing, you're constantly in a state of wanting, not receiving. You're telling the universe, I don't have this yet. I don't have this yet. And the universe responds with what? Showing you more of what you don't have. You keep telling the universe, I don't have it. I don't have it. I don't have it. So the universe is like, okay, you don't have it. You don't have it. You don't have it. You don't have it. Right? So you have to get into the state of, I ask and I will receive. Once you ask, you just got to get out of the state of asking. You're done. You're done. You can't be in the state of wanting anymore. It's a different vibrational space. So as James Allen wrote in As a Man Thinketh, you do not attract what you want, but what you are. Right? You can't attract what you want. You attract what you are. Right? The earth doesn't, the gravitational pull of the earth doesn't attract what it wants. It attracts more of what it already is. That's what it means when like attracts like. So this means that our inner state determines what we attract into our lives. Right? And that brings us to the law of attraction. Now, let me break this down. This is what the movie The Secret is all about. The law of attraction, if you haven't heard of it, is all about like attracting like. Your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs literally shape your reality. Thoughts become things. And here's the kicker. It's not just about what you think. It's about the vibration that you're in, because every thought has a vibrational frequency. So being in a state of joy, gratitude, positivity aligns us with the vibrational frequency of the things that we desire. Because like we've talked about before, your desires are the only reason you have your desires are because you believe you will feel better in the having of it. You believe you will feel better in having those desires. So the vibrational frequency of those desires is feeling better, is feeling joy, is feeling gratitude, is feeling positivity. In the Bible, Proverbs 23:7 says, "For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he." This essentially is God telling us that our inner thoughts and feelings shape our reality. When you're in a high vibrational state, feeling good, aligned, and positive, you're in a position to receive. This is what we call the vibrational state of receivership. When you're trying too hard, you're actually blocking yourself from receiving. You're pushing your desires further away. So how do you know when you're in alignment? You feel it, right? You feel at peace, in flow, like things are coming together without you having to force it, because you trust that the God of the universe is on your side and is helping you along and is leading you every step of the way. And if you think about like being in a car, right? Let's say you're in a car, you're on a really dark road and you're driving, and the headlights don't show you your destination. It just shows you a couple feet in front of you, because that's all you really need to see. And that's how your inner being guides you. That's how God guides you, one step at a time. Do this, try this, inspires you to feel this, make this thing happen, make this other thing happen, try this other thing, right? So God is slowly but surely giving you ideas and things to try, right? The universe is guiding you constantly to try, do this. How about this? Things that might lead you, that actually will lead you to your destination, to the place that you want to go, right? So a lot of time we're efforting though without realizing it. You know, I do this all the time, right? We're so used to grinding that we don't even notice when we're fighting against the flow. So how do you become aware of this? Some signs that you're fighting the flow is, one, constant stress over outcomes, right? You're worrying excessively about how things will turn out. Two, you're over planning. You're obsessing over every single detail, trying to control all the variables. And you have to recognize you're not in control of the outcome or even the variable. So you're not in control of the outcome, but we try so hard to be in control of the outcome. You can't know what the outcome will be. There is no way for you to know what the outcome will be. You have no idea how things will turn out. It's in the future. You will never know how it will turn out before it turns out, before it becomes present. So you're constantly trying to overplan and struggle and like, let me figure it out. I'm gonna like handle all this, make sure this thing, you can't know. You can't know. So you're disrupting your own flow. Number 3, you're ignoring your intuition. You're overriding your gut feelings in favor of logic alone. Now, I do this all the time, right? I have these gut feelings. I have that sacral energy that tells me I should do this. And in my mind, logically, I'm like, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. Why would I do that? Why would I try that? No, I should try this other thing. I should do this other thing. And oftentimes when I ignore that, whatever that flow thing is, I end up finding myself in a worse off situation, finding myself in a situation I don't want to be in. More times than not, that happens on a regular basis. And sometimes it happens a long way out. Sometimes I'm like, dang, oh, I knew I should have, blah, 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 da, 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 right? And I hate that feeling. So you have to start really listening to your intuition, listening to that flow that guides you, right? Sometimes you'll just get thoughts, and thoughts are different than thinking, right? Thinking is an active form of processing a thought, right? But when a thought just comes to you, that's what thoughts are. Thoughts come all the time. You can't stop your brain from just having thought, right? That's what makes us human. I think, therefore I am. So we constantly have thoughts. However, the thinking aspect of it is where we oftentimes mess ourselves up. So start by checking in with yourself throughout the day. Are you feeling tense, frustrated, or anxious about getting something done? Those are the signs that you're in effort mode, and we don't want to ever be in effort mode. We want to be in flow mode. So to become more aware, practice mindfulness and stay present in the moment. Eckhart Tolle in The Power of Now advises, realize deeply that the present moment is all you ever have. That is something you really have to recognize. The present moment is all you ever have. And God only speaks to you in the present moment. God doesn't talk to you in the future because you're not in the future. God is talking to you right now. So the present moment is the only thing that exists. Realize deeply that the present moment is all you ever have. That's the only amount of time that you have, is this present moment. This is the time to listen. This is the time to act on that gut feeling. This is the time right now. This is all you ever have. And by staying present, we can catch ourselves when we're pushing too hard. We're trying to control that outcome. We're trying to overplan, and then we're ignoring the intuition that we have in this present moment. So here's a little technique. Whenever you're feeling yourself pushing too hard, just pause and ask yourself, am I operating from a place of fear of outcomes or out of trust in my excitement? Because that feeling, the fruit of the spirit, one of the fruits of the spirit is joy, right? So if your spirit is guiding you, your spirit is enjoying everything, and you have to trust that joy. Okay? You have to trust that joy, trust that excitement that's guiding you. All right? Mindfulness is key. If you're in fear, you're resisting the flow. If you're in trust, you're allowing things to unfold naturally. Now let's talk about what going with the flow actually looks like, right? It's not about being lazy or passive. It's about following your excitement. your inspiration, without attachment to the outcome. You have to let go of the outcome. Because here's the thing, we are limited in our imagination. There are things that could transpire that are greater than the current desire that you are imagining, the current outcome that you're imagining. So why not let the thing that you couldn't even imagine happen, that's greater than the thing you are imagining happen? Let that happen. Let your desires, let your desire for the outcome, to understand the outcome, let it go. Because oftentimes you have no idea what the outcome will actually feel like. You just have to trust that it's going to work out for the best. When you act on what excites you, you're aligning with your true desires. When you pursue what excites you, you naturally align with your true path. Joseph Campbell famously said, "Follow your bliss, and the universe will open doors where there were only walls." So here's some practical steps. 1, identify your passions. Make a list of activities that genuinely excite you, just to get familiar with what is exciting you. So identify your passions, take inspired action, engage in these activities without worrying about where they're going to lead. Okay? Just do it. Like, okay, I'm just going to make this happen. All right? Engage in these activities without worrying about what it's going to look like. Just enjoy it for the moment, because the moment is all you have. Enjoy what you're doing at the moment. That's how you get in flow. When you hear athletes and musicians talk about them being in the flow, in the zone, when they're in the zone, they're in the present moment. That's the zone. The zone is in the present. It exists nowhere else. In no other time does the zone exist. It exists right now. So you have to release attachment. You have to let go of specific expectations about outcomes. By doing so, you remain in positive spirits, which is the point of everything. That's the whole reason why you're searching or trying to get anything. You want to be in positive spirits. You want to be aligned with the fruit of the Spirit. So when you remain in positive spirits, you attract more positive experiences. And who doesn't want that? Like attracts like. So stay positive. Stay positive about the situation. It's all working out for you. It's always working out for you. It will always work out for you. You ask for it, you will receive it. It's done. It's done. It's done. You can stop trying. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. Now just enjoy. Enjoy every little impulse that you have. Just enjoy it. Oh, wow, I'm feeling this. I got this random idea to clean my house today. I got this random idea to watch this movie that a friend had told me about 3 years ago. I got a random idea to go and take a cold plunge in my pool. Who knows? Whatever it is, just go with it. Enjoy it. Wow. What's my inner being going to tell me to do next? And that's when the magic happens. You're no longer trying to control every little detail. You're just letting the universe do its thing. And trust me, that's when opportunities start popping up out of nowhere. So when you're feeling stuck or lost, ask yourself, what would excite me right now? You have to act on your excitement to the greatest of your ability with no insistence on the outcome. Act on your excitement to the best of your ability with no insistence on the outcome. And it doesn't have to be some huge life decision, right? It can be as simple as taking a walk or calling a friend or diving into a creative project. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be big. Just ask yourself, what would excite me right now? And I promise it will lead you to where you want to go. You just have to trust. Stop making fear-based decisions. Stop making fear logic-based decisions. Well, logically, I should, well, nope, let that go. You already asked for it. It's gonna happen. Now, let's be real. You know, it can feel kind of counterintuitive to not push hard for your dreams, right? You know, because we've been programmed to believe that success requires constant effort. But the thing is, when you let go, when you trust the process, that's when things start to fall into place. Trust is essential. In Matthew 6:34, the Bible advises, therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. I love that. I love it because tomorrow is personified, you know, and we have this also these sayings about like, you know, focus on your own plate, stick to your own plate, you know, and if we think of tomorrow as a person, oftentimes we over here worried about this other person, you know, it's like, oh, what they doing, what they got going on. And we're not even focused on finishing our own plate or making our own plate, or the ingredients that we have in our life right now to work with. We're looking at other people's stuff. And so I love that tomorrow is personified. Don't worry about tomorrow, because tomorrow's going to worry about itself. Tomorrow got enough worries on its own. So this encourages us to stay focused on today and trust the process. So here's our ways to maintain a positive state. Practice gratitude, right? Daily acknowledgement of what you're thankful for. Meditate regularly. That helps center your mind and reduce stress. And surround yourself with positivity. Engage with supportive people and uplifting content. Doubt will creep in. Like, there's no doubt about that. You'll think, you know, if I don't hustle 24/7, I'm not going to make it. But that's just fear talking. Right? And fear is just a messenger. Fear is often excitement disguised as a problem, because we oftentimes don't know what to do with excitement. Because I'm not being logical when I'm excited, you know? But we already talked about it. Like, you're efforting. Don't be efforting. Don't be trying. Don't be like, oh my God, like, let me think about this. Let me figure out how to be logical about. No, man, just let it go. Let it go. Go with the flow. Trust you're a good person. You're aligned. God's going to lead you in the right way. It's going to work out. Everything is always working out for you. Everything is always working out for you. You're here. You made it here. You made it through a lot of things that you were worried that you wouldn't make it through. And I guarantee it's not the worry that got you through those things. It was the joy. It was the support. It was the people that popped up out of nowhere, the help, the friends that you had. It was the random client that called you from a word of mouth, that remembered your name 4 years ago. Trusting the process doesn't mean sitting back and doing nothing. It means taking inspired action and believing that what's meant for you won't miss you. Proverbs 3:5-6 says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. Now, we know that the Lord God is water, is the future, is light, is your future self trying to manifest itself in the present moment, right? So trust in this future self. Trust in your future self that's guiding you. Your future knows. Your future already knows where it wants to go. Your future knows where you want to go. It's like you want to be where I'm at. But you're over here trusting your own understanding from things from the past and like logically this should make sense. And nah, bruh. Nah. So it's about surrendering control and letting the universe guide you. So look, and I've been here, right? I've been there because, I used to think if I wasn't grinding 24/7, I wasn't moving forward, right? Because I love to make music, right? I love performing, and I would love to do it more. And there was at one point about 2 years ago, maybe now, where I hired my friend because I was like, yo, I need help. I want to like help me get more gigs. Like if you could just focus on like acting as a manager and like helping me book, like be a booking agent and like, let's learn how to figure this out because I need to perform more. Like I feel like I'm getting older. I'm not performing enough. And, I just need to figure out how I can start performing more. Long story short, it didn't work out. It didn't happen the way that I thought it would, right? At all. Then one day, a couple months ago, right, my wife was offered a gig to play at a restaurant for like $200, right? It's just a music gig. And I had the inspired idea to reach out to a friend who we went to her guitar practice. And we went to this opening and it was a tea shop or whatever, and they had she was the guitarist and she played songs the whole evening. I was like, oh, that's really nice. And it was super simple setup. And like, then, I got up and I started singing with her. And I had this idea when I heard about the gig, I had this idea to call her. It was like, hey, I'd love to put together a band. Like, my wife and I are kind of like, we haven't really performed our music live, but we want to like actually make a band and like start something. And so would you be interested in helping out? And she was like, sure. So she came along. I called another friend who I'd collaborated with often. And then we just started doing some rehearsals, and then we did this gig. And as the gig was coming up, we were like stressing about it a little bit. My wife was a little stressed about it. And I was like, you know what? It's just I'm treating it as a practice, honestly, like, because our music sounds good, but this is our first time performing, this is our first time performing, the four of us together. And, we're not making a ton of money, and it's like, it's low stakes. People are at a restaurant, they're eating. It's not like they're coming to see our show. So, like I'm letting go of the outcome. I'm just going to trust that this is going to be fun. It's going to be great for whatever it is. Right. And, sure enough. So, between the four of us splitting, $200 as, $50 each, it's not really, not really much at all. But, I decided, just to enjoy the experience, performing with my friends. And in the middle of our performance, a man came up to us, truly in the middle of our set. Like, you can go watch the live stream. It was a couple months ago. You could watch the live stream. The man came straight up to us and was like, hey, you guys perform at weddings? And he was like, and he hired us like on the spot to perform at his wedding, and ended up paying us 20 times more than what we were making at the at the restaurant, right? And then not only that, his wedding planner now wants to partner with us to do more weddings, right? With more events that she's hosting and planning. So if that's not divine intervention and going with the flow, I don't know what is, right? So I've realized that the more I let go, the more things will fall into place. When I was over there trying to like get gigs, like we couldn't figure it out. We didn't know how to get gigs. We didn't know how to make all these things happen. But the universe is always listening to your wants and your desires, right? I asked This is what I asked of the universe. And then I let it go. After that was too hard, I moved on to another project. That's one perk of having ADHD. I just like moved on to the next project. It's like, all right, that's not working out. Let me find this other thing. But, you know, when I let go of the resistance on that side of things, then just things just started falling into place. Like randomly, like people know that, you know, people know my wife is a singer, and then she and I make music together, right? So then it's like, boom, okay, here's a little gig, right? You know, you guys know some people who are musicians. I've never had a band before, but I know some people that play. Let's get those together. Boom. Then we're in that space, right? So it just happens gradually. And that's the lane that you want to be in when you're going with the flow. You want to just allow opportunities to start flowing, right? Opportunities start flowing to me when I'm in alignment with what truly excites me, not when I'm forcing it, just enjoying it. Take somebody like Steve Jobs, for example, right? He once said that you can't connect the dots forward. You only connect them looking backwards. So you don't know what this exciting moment is going to lead to and how it's leading to this other thing. You're not able to connect the dots because you don't even see all the dots yet. You can only go back and be like, oh, that's why this happened. And if this didn't happen and that didn't happen, oh my goodness, that was why. Oh, that's why I lost my job. That's why I was doing this. That's why, whatever. That's why I had that breakup. Like, you start seeing all of the elements come together when you start looking back. So contrary to popular belief, his success wasn't from grinding nonstop. Talking about Steve Jobs, right? It was from following his passion, trusting the process, and letting things unfold in their own time. That's how the most successful people do it. Think about J.K. Rowling. Before her success with Harry Potter, she faced numerous rejections. She said in an interview, I just wrote what I wanted to write. I wrote for myself. By focusing on her passion rather than forcing success, she achieved more than she could even possibly imagine. She probably couldn't imagine where it's at. Now they making movies about her books and TV series and all of this stuff. You probably can't even fathom what's coming to you, the blessings that will come to you if you just follow your passion and excitement. Just start writing down the ideas. Put it in a journal. I had this idea the other day, like just randomly to reach out to I went to Jamaica. My cousin and I, she started like, I just became the official photographer of the event because I had my camera, but I wasn't supposed to be, but I just became the photographer, right? So I was taking pictures and everything. And then at a certain point, you know, my cousin was like, oh, you know, she started directing me and like telling me, oh yeah, you know, let's get all these people together or whatever. And, you know, what, and all of that. And so, afterwards we made a joke like, oh yeah, you know, this is our business and yada, yada, yada. Right. And so a couple months later, I texted her and I was like, yo, I just had the thought that we should talk business. Like, you know, let's talk about something. And she was like, oh, like, what do you want to talk about? And then just didn't happen. Didn't, like, nothing came of it. We didn't talk anymore. It was like, we never got to meet up. And then randomly, literally last week, she texted me like, hey, just talking about business. Like, you know, I had these two ideas and they were literally, the ideas that she gave me were literally the same idea for an app that I wanted to create, that I've been wanting to work on. And she just had the idea and was like, oh, you know, this is something that I've been wanting to do. And then like, now it's like, yeah, and I wanted something like that. And I've been trying to figure that out. And she was like, yeah, and I could put all the pieces together and direct just like she was doing in Jamaica, right? Like she can do all those things. So it's like, all these things just start falling into place, man, in a way that you can't possibly imagine. You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking back. So stop trying to worry about why is my impulse telling me to do this? Why is my impulse telling me to go eat that ice cream? Why is my impulse telling me to go to the gym right now? Why is my impulse telling me I should just take a walk on the beach? You never know. You can't connect the dots. Don't worry about why. Stop efforting through that. Right? So I want to hear from you guys now, right? I want to hear from y'all. I want to encourage you to reflect on your own life, right? Where might you be efforting too much, right? What activities excite you that you can pursue without attachment to the outcome? And that's the most important, that's the key aspect of it. Acting on your excitement with no insistence on the outcome. You can't have any attachments. Write them in the comments below. Let's talk about how you can shift into alignment. And while you're at it, let's do a little exercise. I want you to close your eyes for a minute and visualize yourself letting go of whatever you're pushing so hard for. I want you to visualize that desire, that thing that you're trying to make happen. And then visualize just for a moment, letting go of it, letting go of the outcome. You don't know what it's going to be. You don't know what it's going to look like. You have the vision, and just let it excite you. Let it excite you. Look at that. And then letting that go. If that doesn't happen, it's fine. But it's exciting to think that that could happen. Ooh, what impulses am I getting from that thought, that feeling of excitement? What impulses do I have right now? And what does it feel like to trust in the process? What would happen if you stopped forcing things and started following your excitement? The big takeaway here is that forcing things doesn't lead to success. Alignment does. And in closing, I want you to remember these key points. Excessive effort creates resistance. Excessive effort creates resistance. Trying too hard can block the flow of manifestation. I want you to remember the state of wanting versus the state of receiving. Constant trying keeps you in the wanting mode, not the receiving mode. And when you're following your excitement, you're excited about what you're currently doing, and that's the prize. What I'm currently partaking in is the prize. The present moment is the present. The present moment is the gift. Follow your excitement, act on what excites you without insisting on the outcomes. And lastly, maintain positive spirits. Your vibrational state attracts similar energies. So you want to find yourself in a positive state no matter what. Align yourself with truth, trust, patience, love, joy, peace, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. If you align yourself with these things, you're going to attract more experiences that lead to more feelings of that same quality, if not greater. Maintain positive spirits. So I challenge you this week, stop efforting. Stop efforting. Stop trying. Start aligning. Follow your excitement and watch how things start to shift. As Lu Tzu said, when I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. And just like that, we are wrapping up another fantastic session here on the Ace Anderson Show. Big love and thanks to each and every one of you who joined us live this morning. Your energy and insights light up the community and push us all to level up in every way possible. Now, don't forget, we're here every single Monday morning, bringing that heat to start your week off right. If today's conversation got you fired up, inspired, or just curious to learn more, or, even just want to argue, you like, that doesn't make any sense, Ace, I encourage you to drop a comment, let us know more, share the stream, and tell a friend, because, word of mouth is the best influencer. Also, keep Ace Boogie in your thoughts and prayers, and I promise to do the same Follow me on all social media platforms at A Shot That. Remember, we're on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, on TikTok, on Snapchat, on everywhere that you can get online. So come follow your boy and let's keep the A-Team growing strong. Until next time, y'all, remember to always align yourself with truth, trust, and patience, and I promise you will ace your life. Peace.